I'm Fran Kick, a Centerville resident, business owner, parent, and passionate library user. One of the best things about living in this community is the Washington-Centerville Library. Our library has a 200-year history of providing quality service to local residents. That history, made up of countless stories from individuals just like you, about the everyday ways in which the library adds to the quality of lives in our community. Whether it's fostering a love of reading in our youth, partnering with other local agencies to offer resource-rich programs and services, or supporting job seekers and business startups, our library is definitely a community investment that yields a significant return. Don't take my word for it. Listen to these library stories and decide for yourself.
I take my two daughters to the library and have taken them since story time when they're able to go in at 6 months old. So for me at that point, being a stay-at-home mom, that was my ability to socialize them. Any of the different programs to kind of entice and give a positive relationship to reading. My girls love that, and of course, trying to educate my girls and prepare them for school, that's something that I love as well.
What I like about the library is that there's lots of different kinds of books that you can check out. And you can learn stuff with them. And I like the library because you can get your books free. And I also am excited about the Ladybug program because you get to meet the ladybugs. And very excited about it because you get to do crafts.
I'm also a mother of young children, and mine aren't in school yet, but my oldest is almost 3. And what's great is we can walk to the library, and it's amazing to me that she already knows when we're in the car or when we're walking, like, there's the library, there's the library. It's a very positive place for our family. It's a place where she wants and asks to go often.
So it's not just a place that they go to get books.
Absolutely.
It is a place that they go to visit their friends, which happen to be the librarians or the people that work there.
We both share a mission, and I think we partner with the library because we have the opportunity to expand on the performance and the experience that people have at our theater. And it allows us to connect with kids in a different way and to expand on the experience that they have with the live performance by going back or experiencing later the source material.
We've also had a strong commitment with the public libraries where they've worked with every one of our kindergartners and 5th graders. So sort of that early exposure to the public library and how to use the wonderful resources that they have there. We've also been able to use the librarians to gather books for us for book collections, maybe on a topical basis or author basis. It's been a very, very strong relationship. Definite benefit for all of the students.
Just going to the library and being able to check out any book on pretty much any topic is just so amazing, and it's really helped my schooling so I can check out stuff like Of Mice and Men, or a book on computer programming, or just anything. It's so amazing.
I also think it's great for the students to see us as adults,
Right.
whether as a parent or as somebody they see at school as an educator, that we're there, we're constantly reading. That's something we emphasize definitely as teachers, is that we're lifelong learners ourselves.
Lena comes to Storytime with big brother Jack, who's 3½. I think the library is a very important part of the community, so I definitely think it's not only for the children, though, it's also for the adults. I certainly enjoy different reading materials, as does my husband, and we really appreciate having this as a part of our community.
Well, I think that's probably why our relationship with the library works for us and for them, because we're trying to create a positive experience with reading, and they are as well.
And I think our library, particularly in Centerville, Washington Township, is a community center. I mean, when we're talking about the theater, that's where we go and we see the postings for what's on at the community theater. Sure. So Town Hall Theater's making this production. Let's go check out that book and read it. Then let's go home and reserve our tickets to go watch the show. So, and obviously when you have a community center like that and a focal point for your community that's distributing knowledge, the more knowledgeable people you have in the community, that is a strength and an asset to your community. And I definitely think that our libraries serve as that kind of focal point and town center for us.
For me and our entire family, the library was and is an integral part in both formal and continuing education. It provides the place, the people, and the access to materials that teach me skills, keeps me up to date, and makes me more employable. In fact, the library helps people learn new skills throughout their lifetime. Citizens can learn to build a new deck for their home, use the internet more effectively, or in my case, and for many like me, start and grow a small business.
We help the individual entrepreneur just starting out, building a business plan, all the way up to the well-established mid-sized business. And the services we offer range from finding contact information for a single potential customer or client, all the way up to expanding a business's market in other areas.
You know, usually when they have meetings like this, companies do, they charge you a fee to go in, you know, $25, $50, $75, $100. And being a small business, hey, every buck is a buck, and if we can do it this way, it's non-threatening, and it's a nice setup. It's really, really, really appreciated.
Besides working individually with businesses, we also work closely with small business assistance groups locally, including SCORE, the Chamber of Commerce, and Business First.
The library specifically has been a great partner of the Business First program, because as we go out, as economic development professionals go out and meet with businesses to try to find out what their challenges and opportunities are, we're able to make qualified referrals to our partners like the library to help them in conducting research.
And in addition to working with businesses that come to us through referrals, we also work directly with small businesses that come to us for various needs.
Well, we've really called on the library many times. And recently, we were working with a potential customer out of New Jersey, and here we're a company based in Dayton, Ohio, so we certainly hope that we can capture this new business from this company. They had a need where it required a special form as part of this program, and I called on Bill. And within about 5 minutes, you taught me how to prepare that form, and we captured that new business from that customer.
What we can do ranges from the little thing on helping somebody build a form, all the way up to helping them find data to fill in a very involved business plan or marketing plan.
I use the library weekly to research what you have, and to be able to become educated enough to go back to my customers and tell them what they should be doing, or at least give them ideas on how to make a good decision.
That's a great point about our website. That is what we like to think of as our third location, and that we have lots of resources there for businesses. On our webpage, we have a section just for databases geared toward small businesses, databases like Reference USA and Standard & Poor's, where businesses can find that good information, high quality business information.
We can always count on the library to help that business. It's like you're a part of their business.
One of the other popular important ones is our job searching online class, which is one of the services that we offer for job seekers at the library. Other things that we do for job seekers, obviously we have the computers for job seekers to use. Even if you're applying for a job at McDonald's these days, it has to be done online. And for people applying online, even if they have internet access at home, they still choose to do it at the library, because if they run into trouble, they have questions, there is a professional librarian on hand to help them fix the problem and walk them through.
Just knowing that that resource is there, and it's available to a person at no charge, and that it's just invaluable.
And that is a class that we not only teach in the library, we take on the road.
The Job Seekers program has been in existence for 2.5 years. One of our challenges initially was to find quality presenters who could not only encourage and support our job seekers, but would present quality information in a professional manner. Well, when I heard that Bill Menker was available as a business librarian and that he was available to go off-site, we were thrilled. We are incredibly blessed in the Centerville, Washington Township area to have the library that we have.
Educated children, employed citizens, and prospering businesses all help a community to thrive. In Centerville, Washington Township, our great library, school district, parks, and other amenities contribute to our community's success and make it a great place to live.
The library system here in Centerville, Washington Township far exceeds even bigger cities that I have lived in. There just always seems to be something going on there. And the selection is great. If you have to go and buy a book, you haven't been to the library. It's such a positive to living in Centerville, Washington Township, the library system, absolutely.
One of the things that I absolutely enjoy about the library is that they bring in the classes for kids of all different ages.
For us, it's just been a great family resource. When the girls were very young, that was their first introduction to reading in terms of kind of an educational resource, but then continued throughout school. And then one daughter served on the teen advisory board, which was great because it was a great civic opportunity for her. So she got involved in the community, and so that provided a great opportunity for her. She later put that on her resume for college, which I think was a strong point. So for us, it's always been a great family resource.
I also like how they create a safe environment for kids, and again, giving them options, so they don't have to go hang at the mall.
I came to the library today because I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it never gets old. It's always fun to meet new people and just enjoy the games and the raffles that they have here at the library. Great place to hang out with your friends.
Did you know that they have the best books picked out on the cart here? Did you know that they have video games and bingo and all kinds of prizes you can win? I would say if you're looking for the next cool book, they always have displays out, and they also have awesome playaways, which I just found out about. They're awesome.
What's really nice about an opportunity like that is you put kids into an environment in which they're socializing within a library, so there's just kind of that reinforcement of kind of the education environment that's there, the learning environment that the library is. One thing I think is a real advantage is we have a kind of dual library system. I think that has been a real benefit just in terms of the amount of resources that we have and kind of the breadth of service to the community.
Talk about timing in life. I had enrolled for a Villanova online course February 1st, and I think my crash was 6th or 7th. But in that time, was able to log on and take my course. It was almost like life was uninterrupted. But until you've taken advantage of that little service, I had never even
an interesting aspect. Now, I was fortunate in terms of the power outage that took place with the windstorm, but we had neighbors that were without power for an extended period of time. And so they were taking advantage of the opportunity going up to the library, which had power at that point in time, could utilize the computer services when they were, stuck in the water.
Well, and we had power, but our cable and our internet were out during that same windstorm. So I paid my bills online all the time. That's all I do. Well, you have to, that's got to be taken care of. So here I am over at the library. And I wasn't the only one, because I think your neighbors were there and everybody else's neighbors were there.
The fact that we have the library system that we do really adds to that, adds to the value of our homes and the community that we have by virtue of the education system that we have here, great schools. But a library is a key element to that. And so I think that having the library system that we do is a key component of maintaining the value of the community and neighborhoods that we have.
Having a quality library in the community, I think, is one of the ingredients that makes the Centerville, Washington Township area a desirable area to find a home. I have the opportunity with many out-of-town buyers, and they're very interested in the schools naturally. And the schools go hand in hand, the library goes hand in hand. If you don't have a good library, you can't have a good school, I feel like.
I honestly can't imagine what our community would be like without the library.
It's such an integral part of the community. I can't imagine if it weren't there. And we kind of take it for granted.
Those communities that stand out tend to have an outstanding community library as a resource.
Having a great library requires hard work by library staff and board of trustees, but it also requires support from the community. Thanks to your local taxes, our library is able to offer the convenient hours, beautiful facilities, and a wide variety of materials and services that many libraries cannot. It's an investment that I don't mind making because I know I'll reap the benefits each time I visit the library and every time someone considers moving into our community.
We're funded both state and locally, so Ohio is fortunate in that we do receive funds from the state. Our local operating levy that we're currently under was approved in May of 2002. It's a 2.7 mil issue, and so between those two funding sources, they make up about 90% of our funding. In the past 10 years, starting back to 2001, we have been either in a freeze or a decline. Most recently, in the last 3 years, we have seen a decrease. We've been cut about 27%. So we are still operating this year at the 1998 funding levels that we have been. So we have tried to make cuts and have made cuts successfully. In particular, last year, we cut real expenditures about $600,000.
The staff is to be commended for what they've done to help us cut the budget where we can.
Currently, about 30% comes in from the state and about 60% from the levy. And that was an inverse from back in 2001 when we were getting more closer to 58% from the state and only about a third from the local operating levy. And so we've had real issues over the past 10 years with trying to stabilize our funding.
What about additional funding sources? Has anything happened in the past year to assist with bringing in additional funding sources or developing new funding sources?
Yes, we've gotten a lot of support from the local community. Private donations have helped fund the renovations in our children's areas. We received a grant from FINRA to fund our financial education program. We partnered with Hither Green, and we also recently formed our Friends group.
So the Washington-Centerville Public Library has a levy on this fall's ballot.
It's 2.7 mil replacement levy with an additional 0.3 of 1 mil, making it a 3 mil levy.
The levy would generate $4.775 million a year, which would be up from the 3.9 that we're currently receiving. The additional 0.3 of a mil, and that difference would basically replace what we've lost in state funding over the last 10 years.
Randy, can you tell us how the library came to decide to put that levy out there?
We operate on a 10-year cycle. We haven't been back for a levy to the community for 10 years, and that's our projection for this current levy is another 10-year levy. We don't want to keep coming back every year asking again and again. So we tried not to operate in a vacuum. We try to get inputs from various sources, many different sources, to try and come out this so we can get the best levy that'll get the best return for the community, the best return for their dollar.
We also, in addition to what Randy said, also went out and we did a survey of our community to find out what was important to our community and what they wanted to see going forward from our library.
The additional 0.3, how much would the additional 0.3 be for a home with a value of $100,000?
It's about $1.93 a month extra for a $100,000 valuation. So, as one of the Financial Advisory Committee members said, that's less than a membership to Netflix, and you get more than you get from Netflix. You get books, videos, games, tapes. So, not bad for $1.93.
When we have tough economic times, the library becomes even busier, and I think what has formed over these last 3 or 4 years with our community is looking for ways to partner with other groups so we can still provide programming or research services, whatever we want to do, but it's just people pull together when you're hitting some rough times.
The Centerville, Washington Township community has held its real estate values better than any other comparable suburban community in the county. And I think that part of the reason for that is because we do have the library as a resource where
I know families that come to the library 3, 4, 5 times a week. The library is an excellent resource, and people recognize that, and I think it's helped keep this community strong.
The stories shared today are just a sampling of the thousands of library stories in our community, and new stories are being written each day. I invite you to share your library story by visiting www.wclibrary.info and help spread the word about the importance of our library in your life. I can't imagine what our community would be like without the Washington-Centerville Public Library, and I hope we never have to find out.